Good evening and welcome. Hello guys, thank you very much for joining me on Amul Live on FB. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be showcasing the Amul products once again. Can you hear me guys? Great. Okay, so I'm going to begin with a small story. Somewhere early as the 8th century, an entire boat of men, women and children landed on the shores of Gujarat. Seeking refuge, the Rana of Gujarat sent them a small bowl of milk, symbolizing just like the milk is filled to the brim, so is my land. There is no place. You may rest, but you must return. Among this boat full of people was a very wise man who took a small handful of sugar and added it to the milk. He sent this bowl of milk back to the Rana. Just like this bowl of milk, which did not spill with the addition of sugar, we Parsis will only sweeten your land and your people. United this entire boat of Persians or Parsis from Iran, making India their home. The Rana was most impressed with the story and the manner in which the wise man added the sugar and sent it right back to him. Today, majority of the Parsis live in Maharashtra, Mumbai. I'm going to be making a very popular dish. I'm making the Zershk berry pulao. These are the Zershk berries, or what is popularly known as barberries. If you can hear me guys, say a thumbs up please. Great. So these are the Zershk berries. If you see, they resemble very tiny cranberries. These berries are traditionally from Iran, but today, thanks to all the super shopping that is available via the internet, the barberries are very easily available on any of the marketing platforms. Okay? Now, the thing about these berries are, as you can see, they are tiny and they're not really got any sugar in them. They're actually very tart. Really very, very tart in taste. So there is a technique to cooking this. I'm going to begin right with the Zershk berries and the cooking. I'm taking a couple of spoons of the berries, to which I'm going to add in a couple of spoons of sugar. I'm also going to add in a little bit of water and let this boil. To this, a very important ingredient, and that is ghee. I've added the ghee, and one more ingredient, which is saffron. Just a pinch of saffron, guys. I'm just adding a pinch of saffron and allowing all of this to simply boil. Now, while these berries boil up, and it's going to take just a couple of minutes, maybe 5-7 minutes, and you have the berries ready. I'm going to start with the pulao or the polo, which is the rice. I have parboiled rice and kept it ready. To this, I'm going to be adding a very special ingredient. Now, just as garam masala is to Indian cooking, adve, A-D-V-I-E-H. It's the Iranian garam masala. I've made this at home, guys. All I have done is ground up some cinnamon, some nutmeg, a lot of rose petals, a pinch of saffron, and a small bit of sugar. This is my adve spice, which I am adding very generously to my rice. All I'm going to do is take a fork so that I don't touch the rice with my fingers or my hands or with a spoon. Gently mix this masala. If you can see, the color is a beautiful color of rose. A lovely rose color. So is the spice. If you will see, there is a hint of rose because I've used rose petals, and it smells amazing. Really smells amazing. See, the barberries are boiling with the sugar, the ghee, as well as a little bit of saffron and some sugar. Here I have what we in our Parsi homes call a langri. This is a heavy vessel made out of brass. I'm going to start my rice to give it a dum. I've started the flame. The vessel is on a tawa. I'm taking some ghee and I'm just putting it on the base of the vessel and letting the ghee melt. Once the ghee melts, all I'm going to do is take this rice and I'm simply adding it to this vessel. This rice has been boiled 3/4, guys, with some salt, and that's all. I've mixed in the adve spices.
Can you repeat the adve spices?
The adve spices, 1 stick of cinnamon, which I have used, 1 stick of cinnamon with 1 stick of cinnamon, 1 nutmeg, a little bit of sugar, a small teaspoon of jeera, 1 tablespoon of dhania, and I've made what is known as the Persian or the Irani garam masala. Very, very simple. Adve, A-D-V-I-E-H. Okay? Now this is going to, I'm not going to cover this right now. I'm just waiting for the barberries to, get a little cooked, couple of minutes, and in the meantime, I'm going to start my gravy for my masala. Sorry, before I do my gravy, I'm also doing vegetable kebabs made out of, cheese and vegetables. So I'm going to be making what we know as a panada. I have taken 1 measure of plain flour, refined flour. I've taken 1.5 of this same measure of milk, and I'm going to put this milk to boil. Into this, I am adding some Amul butter. I'm making what we call a panada. Just taking the butter and allowing it to melt. Can you hear me, guys? And is the stove and everything very clear and visible? Can I just see a thumbs up? Anybody? Great. So I'm just reducing the barberries. I'm going to sprinkle a small bit of water. I want to generate a little bit of steam. Just a little bit of steam. You can see the butter and the milk is now boiling. To this, you can see that boiling. I'm reducing the flame slightly. And I'm going to add in the flour. I'm making a thick panada. All I'm doing is cooking the flour with the butter and the milk and letting that entire mixture just cook up tasty and beautiful. I have not added any salt because Amul butter has enough salt, and that's going to be good. My panada is ready. I've put the flame off. Here's the mixture. And to this, all I'm going to do is add in very finely cut carrots and some very finely cut capsicum. Okay, the barberries, as you can see, they have cooked up. All I'm going to do is take them and cover it, layer it on my rice. This is a mixture of water, sugar, barberries and ghee. Hence, I'm not going to be adding any more ghee to this. It already contains that in the mixture. Now all I'm going to do is put a lid and let it get the dum. Okay guys, this is my panada. I'm just mixing up the vegetables. You want to add in some chilies, you want to add in some spice, you want to add in some salt. We can always do all of that. I'm adding a little salt here, mixing it up. And very important, I've taken a small bit of the Amul cheese. I'm taking the cheese and simply breaking that into the mixture. I'm not even bothering to grate it. Okay guys, let's remember one thing, we're all working ladies. We have to be fast and swift, and the best part about this cheese is that it'll melt beautifully and form literally like a small ball of vegetable and cheese. I don't need to grate it. It softens up on its own. And here I have my mixture ready. I'm taking this out into the plate so that it will cool fast and we'll be able to fry and make these into little kebabs. They're known as kebabs. Okay, now whilst this is happening, I'm going to prepare a slurry so that I will be able to coat my crumbs. All I'm doing, taking some flour. To this, I'm going to add in a little bit of water to make it into what we call a slurry. Just a paste of flour and water, which will help the breadcrumbs to adhere to the little balls of cheese and vegetable that we are going to make. Add in water just to make a thick, what we call a slurry, but it's just a paste of flour and water, nothing else.
There's a request to repeat the recipe for this.
Okay. So this, what I have done, I have taken one measure, full measure of flour, refined flour, to which I've added 1.5 measure of milk. I've added about 30 grams of Amul butter and boiled that milk, butter, reduced it, added in the flour and then quickly mixed it all up together to form this kind of a dough. This dough is referred to as a panada. I've added the vegetables. As you can see, capsicum doesn't take a lot of time. It will cook beautifully when it's fried. I've cut the carrots so small and tiny that you don't really need to give it any cooking either. You may choose to, cook it whilst the milk is boiling or parboil it before, and that will also be good. Now all I'm doing is I've added in the Amul cheese, this very same Amul cheese. I'm making small portions, just making small roundels of this. This is panada with vegetables and cheese, and no, it's not hot, it's just slightly warm.
Where is this dish originated from?
This dish, berry pulao, has originated from Iran. It's a Persian dish. We are representing the Parsi community today. Parsi is originally from Persia, and we've settled down in the kebabs. Actually, technically, Parsis are noted to be non-vegetarians. Let me assure you guys, there are an entire sect of Parsis who are hardcore vegetarians. So whilst you might think, yes, this dish, entire Zershk berry pulao, is normally done with meat. It's done with meat, it's done with chicken, it's done with lamb. We are doing it with paneer and we are doing it with cheese. So instead of doing a chicken kebab or a chicken I am simply doing what we know as the panada with cheese. I have the crumbs here. I'm taking these. I'm going to simply dip them into this slurry. With my other hand, pick it up and coat it. I'm seeing that I'm doing it with my dry part of my palm. So my hand that is wet is only my right one, which is going into the slurry. Just dipping in the slurry, rolling it in breadcrumbs, and the kebabs are ready. These are veg and cheese, Amul cheese. I've made a Yes, we've made it into a vegetarian dish. Traditionally always done with lamb or with chicken. But the best part about being a chef today is one gets to innovate, one gets to create, and one can do whatever one imagines and wants to do. So thanks to Amul and Amul products that we are using, I have made the same chicken kebabs that we would have made with chicken mince. I have done it with a panada and with cheese.
There's a question.
Yeah.
Berries are not available easily. What can be used as a substitute?
You can use red currants, you can use cranberries, and if you order this Zershk berry on any of those shopping sites like Amazon, you will get them. Trust me, you will get them. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is start on my gravy. Heating the pan. First important thing, put the gas on. Always heat your pan before you add in your any kind of fat which you're going to cook. And like I explained right at the beginning, guys, I'm a working woman and I try to look out for those kind of recipes and techniques that I can apply, and when I get back from work it's easy for me to cook. So I have got here some fried onions. I always keep my onions fried like this. As you can see, they're simply a light brown color. I'm going to add in some ghee, just a little bit, because my onions already contain fat. And I'm going to add, you can see the ghee has melted over here beautifully. Into this I'm adding in 2 spoons of these fried onions. I'm just going to cook this for a couple of minutes, not even longer than that, because they're already brown. We working women, we need to be smart whilst cooking. So I always, over the weekend, I fry onions, I keep them in a bowl like this, and I refrigerate it. It stays perfectly good for 8 to 10 days without anything happening. There's enough oil to make sure it works beautifully. Now to this onion, all I'm adding are these 100 grams of tomatoes, which I've chopped, and I'm just going to simply cook it.
The rice is still being done.
Yes, the rice has been getting its dum, so nothing to worry about over there.
There are some requests for chicken kebab recipes later on, maybe if you have time.
I will definitely, once we do, because guys, I am not only doing the plating today, I am requesting you to wait a couple of minutes after I finish the plating, because I'm going to show you my haftaseen table, which is a table that is done, during the Nowruz festival, which is celebrated by Persians and Parsis all over the world. Here the onions are quietly cooking up. You can hear them with the onion. To this I'm adding 1 big teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. Along with the ginger garlic paste, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of what we know as Parsi Sambhar masala. Now this Sambhar masala is very unlike the South Indian. Similar spices, but proportions are different, and it is easily available if you go out and look for it in the market. But if it is not and you can't get your hands on it, trust me, all you need to do is add in some chili powder, haldi powder, a little dhania jeera powder, add in some mustard powder and ginger garlic paste, and you're set. Trust, there's nothing else to it. Now I can smell the mustard, the garlic, that's all part of this beautiful Parsi Sambhar masala which I have used. And into this I am going to add 2 very special ingredients. This is a small bit of jaggery. Okay, just a very small bit of jaggery. we have adopted, you know, the flavors from India. We like our spices, we like a little bit of sweetness, we like a little bit of sourness in the food. Hence the use of jaggery, as well as a small tablespoon of red cane vinegar. Now just like you have white vinegar, you have red vinegar, you have Goa vinegar, which is also made from cane. You also have, you know, the Parsi vinegar available in any place in Bombay. You can go to any of these masala walas, and this vinegar along, you can just get it. The brand that I have used is Kola's, very, very popular and famous in, you know, with Parsis. And now for the special ingredient, which is our paneer. We are making a paneer. Now if you were wanting to do this with meat or chicken, you would add your meat pieces or your chicken pieces into this masala, and you'd cook it for a little bit of time till the chicken cooks. And you put small pieces, you put big pieces, accordingly you put water and you cook it. Now I'm going to do it with paneer. All I've taken is this beautiful soft paneer from Amul, and I have cut them into squares. So from this, you know, it's about 200 grams. I have simply cut them into little cubes, and I'm adding it directly. I don't want to, you know, fry the paneer or any such thing. I like to keep the texture of the cheese, of the paneer, just the way it is. And that's all. The polo is cooking, polo, which is the rice. The gravy, which I'm going to cook with the paneer, is going to take 5 minutes to cook, just so that, you know, the paneer is able to absorb all the flavors and the color, the taste, the smell. It's really smelling a little sweet, a little sour, and of course we don't forget 1 spoon of the adve also to be added into the paneer for that special touch, which will give it that hint of roses. This masala, which contains garam masala, as I explained, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, a tablespoon of dhania or coriander seeds, along with 2 tablespoons of roses. I'll show you the roses when I take you to my table, so you'll be able to see. I've got these roses from Gujarat. They are the roses which have a beautiful fragrance and a smell to it, and traditionally goes into all of the masalas. I haven't bought this masala, I've made it myself. Not difficult. Make your garam masala, get some roses, dry it naturally in the sun, and add it with a little bit of sugar. Okay, so here I'm going to now simply I'm heating up the oil, and I'm going to fry my kebabs. The kebabs are ready. All I need to do now is to fry it. The paneer is also ready. As you can see, it's still sizzling and simmering away. I've just taken it aside. The rice is getting its dum so that it steams up. That's a technique. Dum is a technique, you know, very traditional to all rice preparations that go into a pulao or a biryani form, where you take your rice, you put it in a vessel, and you let it steam up. So always whenever cooking rice for a pulao or a biryani, you must remember to undercook your rice slightly. About, say, you know, 85 to 90% done, and then let it finish in 10 minutes because of the steam that generates, along with whatever flavorings, spices or fat that you add in. In our case, you remember we added to the barberries, we added in almost 1 tablespoon of ghee. So that rice is getting beautifully flavored and done. Here the oil is getting hot. I'm just going to check to see if it's ready. Almost, but not quite. So we'll just wait, because guys, whenever you fry something and if you put your fried item into cold oil, it will not result in what you are looking out for. You want your fried item to be crisp. You want your fried item to be juicy, but you don't want your fried item, when you put it into your mouth, it shouldn't be oozing out with fat and oil into your mouth. So very important that the oil is nice and hot, a medium hot oil. All I have done is, yes, you can see now that is frying up. I'm adding in the kebabs. Whenever adding anything into oil, please make sure that you slowly slide it in. Do not ever throw your food into the oil. That is far more dangerous than, letting it slide in slowly. Here, I'm just now letting it fry. It's getting beautiful and golden thanks to the crust. These are cheese and vegetable kebabs. I had cut the vegetables so tiny. Technical word for these vegetables is brunoise, and it does not require a lot of cooking.
Can you quickly repeat this panada?
Okay, I can repeat the panada. 1 measure of flour, refined flour. 1.5 measure of milk. In that, you want to add in salt, you want to add in your seasonings, all good. Let that boil. When it boils, you add in your flour and you cook the flour till it sort of completely comes together into a small little ball. As you can see the texture. It's not sticky at all, and that will happen when the proportion of liquid to your flour is correct. Here the kebabs are ready and we're ready to plate, guys.
So this pulao we're just layering it, right?
Yes, that's the beauty of this pulao. Here's my plate. All I'm going to do is take this. If this was chicken, it would go exactly like this, but it's paneer and it's smelling amazing. I'm putting in the masala along with the Yes, come and have a look at the rice. You can see the steam that is generating. The dum has come absolutely beautifully on the rice.
So this is only rice and ghee and the barberries, right?
This is rice with the barberries which have been cooked with ghee, a little bit of saffron, some water and some sugar. The dum has come. All I'm going to do is pick up and I'm going to simply plate it. The rice is flavored with the adwe. Remember, we took that adwe and we simply mixed it gently with a fork. Here I've got my adwe, the rice. I'm just presenting it with a little bit of mint, which goes wonderfully with this. Here are my kebabs. I'm adding in a little bit more of mint, some chilies, and some onion for anybody who wants to eat the kebabs. And guys, I'm ready to take you to my table, which is my half the scene table. Just give me 2 minutes and to show you my table. Come. Welcome to my table. This is the half the scene table. Half means 7 and half the scene. Scene is the 15th letter from the Persian alphabet. Half the scene means 7 S's. The scene, the word scene indicates the sound S. Here what we have got are 7 beautiful dishes which will indicate prosperity and abundance, beginning with seb, which is apple for beauty, ser, which is garlic for health, samnu, which is a wheat pudding which is for fertility. We have sirke, which is for aging gracefully and for patience. We have senjed, which indicates the color of the sun. We have sabzi, which indicates wheat which is grown and abundance. And last but not the least is sikke, which is there for wealth and prosperity. Everything that is set on this table is there to showcase plant life and life, abundance and prosperity. Everybody who comes to the home on Nowruz comes and eats and joins at our table. Here is my Zershk polo. These are my kebabs. This is the traditional Gor Amlinu kachubar. Kachubar, a salad made of onions and tomatoes, but flavored with jaggery and tamarind and a hint of jeera. How can a Parsi table not have the delicious faluda, dates from Iran, and of course our very beautiful sago wafers or sarya. Welcome to my table. I wish abundance, health, wealth, prosperity to everybody who is part of my table today. Jamba Chaloji.
We want a quick recap of the entire recipe, please.
Okay, a quick recap.
So start with
I'll start with the barberries, which I cooked in a mixture of sugar, water, a little bit of ghee and a pinch of saffron. I cooked that for less than 7-8 minutes and that's good enough. Why? Because Zershk berries or barberries are very tart in taste and you want that slight hint of sweetness to come through. That's what the sugar does. Rice I had already par cooked. I mixed into the rice adve powder and I topped it with that cooked barberries and then I gave it a dum. The kebabs that I made a panada out of milk, refined flour. One portion, whatever portion of flour that you take, 1.5 times that quantity of milk by volume. Boil that together with butter, the milk and the butter boiled, into which you are adding in the sieved strained flour. Cook it up to what we know as a panada. Add in the vegetables, add in the cheese, you want to add in chilies, you may do so. Then I made a slurry of flour and water. I dipped each roundel of that cheese and vegetable mixture and I rolled it in crumbs and fried it golden. So those are the kebabs.
Paneer?
The paneer, all I did was I kept onions fried and ready. I added I fried the onions, I added chopped tomatoes, a little bit of ginger garlic, and I added the adve powder along with the Parsi Sambhar masala. some salt, a dash of vinegar, and a small bit of jaggery to give it that balance of sweet and sour. Guys, one thing I forgot, so just give me a minute, I'm getting back. This is fried onions, which goes over all the pulaus, what we know as brishta. That's the samanu, which is a wheat pudding. These are the rose petals that I have used, same petals, in making of my adve masala, which is a normal garam masala, to which I have added some rose petals and then ground them all together into a powder. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I am coming back on the 24th with an offering for the goddess Shakti for Navratri. I'm going to be making the very traditional wheat fudge called the sukri. I will see you guys again on 24th, once again on Amul Live FB. Jamva chalo ji, I hope you enjoy this meal. Thank you everyone. Bye.